All right, in my WhatsApp group, a young man who has been following me for, I think, maybe 12 years or so. He has seen me from the days of Dubai and he has still been following me even to this date. He asked me, "So, what is the best exercise that you recommend for me?" Now, obviously, when you're young, you're slim and you burn fat very quickly. But as you grow older, you cross your 35s and all that, you start putting on weight. And obviously, sedentary lifestyle and we're just eating, not doing any exercise. So he asked me, what is the best? Now, I've taken down 10 different kinds of exercises that I've done. I have actually spent time, effort, money into all this. And I also evaluated like everything from how easy it is to prepare yourself to the enjoyment that you get to the long-term drawbacks of doing it. Okay, so this is just my list. Have a listen to it and let me know what do you think in the comments section down below. Okay. So, in no particular order, the first one that I have written down is bodybuilding. By the way, just one small disclaimer, not only because YouTube asks, but before you do any form of exercise, do take professional guidance because the possibility of injury is very high. And please don't follow any influencer. Don't get under peer pressure and especially don't take steroids like it is so rampant in Instagram and TikTok. Today, the way they are taking steroids is like they are just eating gummy bears. All right. And also keep in mind that I had a foundation of track and field exercises thanks to a school coach who taught me in the last 3 years before I would leave school. Okay. So 10th, 11th, 12th. So 3 years foundation I did have. Okay. So, having said that, here are the 10 that I suggest. And believe it or not, for any of these exercises, I highly, highly recommend that you get a qualified coach. Don't just go and take any coach who's in the gym who's jacked up with steroids and looks big. He's not a qualified coach. A person who has a scientific understanding and who's educated and who has practical knowledge. It'll cost you a bit more, but believe me when I say this, it will save you years of your life and hundreds of thousands of dollars that you would otherwise waste. Okay, you might think that you're not spending much, but when you calculate all the years that you're spent, time, effort, and money into this, and maybe the hospital bills that will come later on if you don't do your training properly. So always, my first foremost advice is get yourself a professional coach, a good coach who really cares about you. Okay, so let's start with the bodybuilding. That was my first love, thanks to Arnold. And I was very inspired. I loved bodybuilding, would read every Flex, Muscle and Fitness, Muscular Magazine, Muscular Development. I mean, name it. I was just reading, looking at every competition. I knew every bodybuilder by name. You might not know their names. Sean, Flex Wheeler, Dory Nates, Ronnie Coleman, the who's who. I just loved that era. Okay. And I loved doing bodybuilding. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing. I used to think Arnold's 25 sets of 25 reps was the way, which was crazy. But anyway, it was a phase and I did it. So bodybuilding is my first love. And if you talk of preparation, it was fairly straightforward. All you had to do is take maybe your gym clothes, your gym belt, your gloves and all that. You can spend as much money as you want, but you don't need to. But it's always a fat burners, pre-workouts, then protein shakes during the training. Then after training, you'll take creatine and all that. So it is it is a sport that can get expensive as expensive you want to make it. You can get bodybuilding shoes, bodybuilding outfits. You can get the whole 9 yards. And if you factor in supplements and nutrition and steroids, it can be a very expensive affair. I used to spend at least minimum $2,000 a month. Started off with $500 a month. I'm talking gym membership and all the rest. So preparation is pretty straightforward. Just dress up and go to the gym. Yes, you have to plan it out. The experience was amazing. I really loved it. experience and convenience. It's very easy. The gym, you just have to go to a gym that is close by and just do your weights. And with music and all that, it's absolutely paradise. Like I said, cost depends on how much you want to spend on the gym. However, the long term negative drawbacks of lifting weights, there will be wear and tear of your joints. And if you don't do an exercise properly, it can lead to injuries. And as you grow older, depending on how your body, your DNA, your structure is, and how you have done the workouts over the years, it can either be a positive thing or it can become a very negative thing. Majority of the cases, there are always side effects. So that is why overall I give bodybuilding a 5 out of 10. Long term, you will have joints pain, you will have wear and tear of joints, and especially if you do certain movements which are compound, the injuries will remain forever. Okay. The next one is powerlifting. Oh, there's nothing like setting your mind to a certain weight which measures your strength. And if you do it properly, the thrill, the adrenaline, the testosterone, the feeling of an invincibility is just incredibly amazing. The preparation for this is slightly more than bodybuilding because you have to take your safety belt, your safety wrist straps, knee wraps. You have to take supplements for because the wear and tear on your body and joints is very high. You have to eat well. The only inconvenience is you will need a spotter, but mind you, this is the most dangerous form of exercise. The cost, once again, depends on how much you want to spend on it, steroids, supplements, and all that. The long-term effects of this is very negative, extremely negative. If among all the exercises, all of them, the 10 which I'll be elaborating on, this one is the number one killer of your health, and it has a very bad price to pay, from damaged knees, damaged legs, damaged lower back especially. It's permanent injuries, and if you have a muscle tear or joints, this thing finished. Your life is over. So though this can be a testosterone inducing hyper manly kind of a sport, but it is very dangerous. And lately we have come to know people who have died because the weight was too heavy, it hit them on the head or whatever. And we have seen graphic images of elbows being bent the other way, knees being broken, so be careful. The third one, overall I give this one, considering the pros and cons, long term it's 2 out of 10. So yeah. The third one which I've done is high intensity interval training, HIIT. Though very effective, I don't enjoy it very much because you really have to be at your A game. For that matter, even CrossFit, which I've not done. But preparation is, you can't just go and start doing high intensity training. You need to have the proper gear, the towel, the dress, everything else. In fact, in certain gyms, you can just take a towel and just wear normal clothes, but in HIIT, you have to wear proper gear. The second one is my experience with it also. I didn't enjoy it that much because you really have to put, it's like even if you do 10 or 15 minutes, you have to go all out. So it's all 5 across the board. The cost was also not very cheap. You have to go to a proper gym or proper coach. And long-term effects, I would say it is a little bit better than going to the gym. But then if you're doing full all-out intensity, it can be as bad as bodybuilding because a sprain or a muscle tear or anything that can happen to your hamstrings or anything, it can really affect your body later on. And once again, it depends on how much you spend on supplements and food. So overall, I give it a 5. It's average. The next one comes, then these are the ones that came later on in my life. One is slow running. Now, there's a difference between slow running and marathon training, which I will just get into, not too much into detail. Slow running preparation, very easy. Just put your shoes and go out with a simple outfit. Experience, also very relaxing. You can put some music and listen to it. Convenience, also very easy. Cost is zero cost. Only you need to have a decent pair of shoes, and obviously recommended to take water and all that. Long-term positive effects, it's really the highest, among the highest. So there's no much drawback. Overall, slow running is what I suggest to a lot of people. It is very, very good because all you got to do is just slow running. So no pressure. So that, surprisingly, you might be surprised that I recommend it so high. Yes, you will not get to show off, but it definitely makes you realize that you can be of good health. Because remember, a lot of bodybuilders who can't run for 30 minutes to 1 hour, a lot of people without muscles can easily do 1 hour. Okay. Next one is marathon training, which is a slow form of running, but it's very specific to improving your speed, your stamina, your ability to run long distances. So marathon training is very different. The preparation for this is not as simple as you think wearing shoes. If you're really serious about marathon training, you need to bring specific shoes, specific socks, specific tights, specific undergarments, specific gels that is, you take when you want to maintain your energy. You must be hydrated. So there are a lot of factors, and then you need to train in a group. So the preparation is slightly, if you're doing it properly, it's slightly inconvenient. And depending how close or far the trainer is or the venue is. Experience, oh, I rate this 10 out of 10. I'm telling you, it's a perfect. I really miss the marathon training days, which I used to have. I used to enjoy it. And especially when you have the timings and your heart rate. I used to have a heart rate monitor. I think Polar was the brand. So really great. The cost is, it is not cheap. If you take branded items, stuff that really works, it's around 6. Long-term positivity, I give it this a 10 out of 10. Okay. And overall, I rate it at 9. So marathon training, I really miss. One of the best. It really makes you miss those days, and especially when you run during the races. It's not about being first, it's about finishing the race, and people always encourage you. So marathon training. Next one comes to swimming. Swimming is nice, it's harmless, but the preparation is a big headache. Getting your swimming gear, getting your stuff, going down to the venue, swimming, then coming out, and obviously water shouldn't go in your ears and all that. So it's not that convenient. So I rated it at 4. Experience, I was not a big fan of swimming, although swimming is very, it doesn't put any pressure on your joints. I gave it a 6. Convenience, it's very inconvenient because you need to find a good swimming pool, a well-maintained one. You need to have a good trainer. Cost for it is also, I give it at a 50%. Long-term positivity, I don't think there's anything negative of swimming unless, of course, you have some problem because of water going in your ear. Yes, the danger of drowning, but then, make sure that you don't do anything unsupervised if you're not too sure. And overall, I give swimming, because of the experience, I don't enjoy it so much, 6. But there are a lot of people who love swimming. Okay. And I'm talking of proper swimming as an exercise, not just floating and, drinking a pina colada and talking to your friends. Next comes cycling, which is second most less impactful than running. But cycling, the only reason I don't enjoy it is your butt has to sit on that seat. And if you do long distance like 50 or 100 kilometers, your butt gets very, very sore, especially if you're heavy. Okay, light, people may not feel it, but it really, your bone has to get used to, especially you're sitting on it. The experience, I didn't enjoy that much. I would say 4 or 5. It's nice cycling, but when you're talking of a long distance, it's not that much of a fun. If you're talking to your girlfriend and cycling, maybe it's different, but long distance, no. Convenience, you have to, if you're talking of a proper cycling bike, you have to carry it on your car. I had to bring the accessories for it. So it's at a 5, not very convenient. And you have to go to a cycling track, not on the road I'm talking about. Road is very dangerous, which I don't recommend. The cost for it, I give it out of 10 or 4, means it's not very convenient. The higher the rating, the better. So I had spent $15,000 to get a customized bike, which I hardly used and had to give back. Carbon made from Germany. The manufacturers, they had their team who would come at a certain period of the month. I got it done scientifically. So yeah, long-term positivity of cycling. Well, it's not bad. I don't think there's any harm unless, of course, you crash or you fall. So I gave it a kind of 6.5. Overall, because I don't enjoy the experience, I put it at a 4. Okay. Yes, you can listen to music and all that. But remember, it gets very inconvenient on your butt. So even though cycling is fun, but you need to have specific places, specific groups, and only then it's enjoyable. Otherwise, no. The next one, number 8, is the most expensive sport I had among all of them. That is triathlon. In terms of preparation, this is the hardest to prepare for in terms of your gear. Remember, you have to be a swimmer, you have to be a cyclist, you have to be a runner, all 3 sports. So I give the lowest score 2 out of 10 in terms of preparation. Experience, I give it the highest. It's if I could give it 11 out of 10, I would give it 11. Convenience, very inconvenient because you need to train at a specific swimming area. You need to have beaches which are clear. You need to train in the Dubai beaches were amazing. I really miss them. Here, it's anywhere else in the world, unless it's man-made, it's not fun. Others, there's a danger of jellyfish and sharks and all that, and especially dirt, which I can't stand. Or you need to train in a swimming pool. Then cycling, you need to be on a cycling track. Running, you need to run in a group. So everything has to be done in a group, supervised with a coach. Very, very inconvenient. And driving down to the place. The cost for it is, I give the lowest score, 10 being positive. I give it a 1 because it is the most expensive sport. It's only for elites. Yes, there are a lot of people who don't earn as much, but then you can't have the best of the best experience in it. But I'm not trying to discourage you. If you can afford it, please go ahead. Like, remember, I told you, I would give it 11 out of 10 in terms of joy and happiness and pleasure. Long-term positivity, again, I give it a 10 out of 10. Overall experience, strangely, even though the cost and everything else, I give this a perfect 10 out of 10. This is, if you can afford this sport, there's nothing like it in the world. Okay, nothing like it. The number 9 is yoga. The most boring form of exercise, according to me. You need to have a certain degree of maturity and discipline to do this. Preparation, hardly anything. I give it an 8 out of 10, which is high. Experience, I get bored of this. I don't know, maybe oldies can do it and sit in one position, meditate, another, and move. So I gave it a 2 out of 10. I didn't enjoy it that much. Convenience, once again, very high, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Cost for it is literally 0. You just need maybe a grass or soft area and a group. Long-term positivity, this one is the highest. Okay, you can give it even a 12 out of 10 if you want. But overall, what I rate it is because of the joy, the pleasure of wanting to do it. Overall, I gave it a 2 out of 10 because something can be the best in the world, but if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Okay. The last, if not the least, the final one which I currently do is walking. Walking is very easy, just like slow running. You just have to, you can even put on your slippers and go for a walk. You can walk any time of the day, unless, of course, you're living in a forest where you can't go in the night. Experience is 9 out of 10. Put your headphones or walk with your partner. Convenience, again, 10 out of 10. Very convenient. Cost is 0. So again, 10 out of 10. Long-term positivity, I've never heard of a single drawback related to walking. And overall, I would rate this, strangely, 10 out of 10. So the funny thing is, walking kind of gave a perfect score across the board. Although the pleasure that you would get, triathlon is much more, marathon running is much more, but then they have their drawbacks in terms of cost and proper professional training. So anyway, these are the 10. Now, what do I recommend for anybody? The answer is very simple. Do the exercise which you can be consistent with, which you can do every single day and which you enjoy. Because remember, it's not about breaking world records and impressing people that, oh, I lost all my fat and got 6-pack abs. It's about being consistent. And it's about doing it every day. And longevity matters. Okay, remember, you're doing this for the long run, not short run. Yes, bodybuilding and powerlifting, short term, can show your muscles, impress the girls, feel good about it. But long term, it's not sustainable. So anyway, in the end, whatever you decide, whether powerlifting, bodybuilding, walking, whatever, obviously, if you're a young man, you'd want to show some muscles and all that. So do whatever you feel is convenient for you, which you can do every single day. Because remember, doing at least a little bit every day is better than doing once and then stopping. And biggest one of all, if you want to lose weight and get in shape, it's always 80% nutrition, what you eat, and maybe 20 or even 10% that is exercise. All right. And before I conclude, I prefer walking outside than on the treadmill. Treadmill, I guess the only reason I might use that is if it's raining outside and if I want to watch a movie and then walk safely in the confines of my house. So hope this video helped you. Good, bad, ugly. Feel free, comment down below. If you have any questions, do ask them. I'll definitely answer. You guys take care. And if you'd like to share your point of view and you beg to differ, love to read them. You guys take care. This is me signing off. Bye.